What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here. Welcome to a quick little video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the alleged footage description that came out of Cinema Europe, or whatever you want to call it, the Cinema Expo 2019, where WB showcased a bunch of their upcoming slates and movies like Wonder Woman 1984, Doctor Sleep, Joker, and of course Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, this footage description comes from the Lord of Salem, and also from Goromaru Island is reporting on it, so we're going to go ahead and talk about it. We're going to go through the whole thing. As you can see, I got the tweets loaded up right here, and then also I got the original poster's footage description right here, so we'll talk about that here. And yeah, I guess full spoilers. So again, this is alleged. We don't know for sure if this is actually factual, but they're reporting on it, and I guess this is a description, so we're just going to have to roll with it. It does sound kind of interesting, though, so we're definitely going to talk about it. I mean, again, it's just a brief clip. There's a bunch of unfinished CGI and stuff, but, you know, October is right around the corner, and it's getting close to the 6-month mark to the movie. People have been eagerly anticipating a trailer to be released at some point very soon, and everyone's just getting kind of impatient at this point. They're just kind of wondering, okay, when's the trailer going to come out? When's the trailer going to come out? When's the trailer going to come out? And the truth is we don't know. A lot of rumors have speculated that we're going to get a trailer in front of Joker, but we shall see. If it doesn't come out then I guess maybe by the end of the month, if not in front of Doctor Sleep. That's all I can think about. If it's still going to make that March 2020 release date. So, yeah, I guess you're kind of sick and tired of me rambling on. So let's go ahead and talk about the footage and discuss it. So, here we go. I'm going to read Goromaru's description, then we'll go back to the original post because this one's a little bit, better laid out together. But anyways, so yeah, go ahead and follow on Twitter. So they do a good job reporting on a lot of stuff. So anyways, the footage opens up with a somber tone with Alexander Skarsgård's character entering an ominous glacier-like temple fortress. Thunder and lightning crackle and crash across the high heavens above, with the footage now laying sight upon a raging, chain-bound King Ghidorah, with the tyrant showing to be bound to the surrounding fortress while also being surrounded by unidentified troops. So, yeah, according to this footage, King Ghidorah has seemingly grown back. I know they were setting that up at the end of the last movie. We knew that post-credit scene was going to pay off in some capacity, so perhaps Ghidorah has regenerated partially. Maybe he's a lot smaller than the previous King Ghidorah. At least that's what I'd assume, considering he'd be chained up somehow. I know, it seems kind of crazy to think about it because Ghidorah is, he's massive. He's like over 500 feet tall. Like, how could you chain this thing up? So my potential theories as to why this could happen is perhaps they're using him to siphon off his energy, or maybe he's just a really weakened Ghidorah at this point. He's a lot smaller. He's a lot weaker. He hasn't had the chance to really boost his energy up. So that's probably the case as to why he'd be, chained up at this point in the footage. But we'll just have to wait and see the context of it all to really understand, again, if this is true. Next, a voiceover narrates of a great impending war. Footage cuts to a dejected Kyle Chandler, then shifts to the side of Madison, despairing and in tears. Oh, something bad must have happened. The footage then shifts upon a restless ocean coast overcast by a biblical thunderstorm. So for the people expecting day battles, it looks like we're not really going to get them. But, it's probably going to be in front of storms again, because that's the case, just to kind of make it seem more epic. But we shall see. So, or maybe, again, this could be on Skull Island. An aircraft carrier might have crash landed on there, and of course, Skull Island was surrounded by a storm system. But, yeah, from the restless ocean coast, Kong rises from a half-sunken aircraft carrier, and while doing so, finds his glare met by Godzilla. A moment passes, and then Kong decides to attack. The two titans clash, their battle trampling over a warship of scattering troops. So apparently this aircraft carrier crash landed onto the beach. Maybe Godzilla was the cause of it. Maybe Kong was the cause of it. We don't exactly know why this would happen, but Kong is apparently in the wreckage of it. Godzilla emerges from the ocean, and the two are going to fight on top of the wreckage of an aircraft carrier, which, again, that right there sounds pretty amazing. A perfect intro, like the two titans are going to meet face to face. Kong exhibits prowess of agility and speed and lands a square hit onto Godzilla. Godzilla, in feedback to Kong's attack, remains firm and pretty much unfazed, like, really, dude, this is what you're going to do to me? And then Godzilla replies with an attack of his own and sends Kong flying. So Kong's just like, punch you in the face. And then Godzilla's like, really? And then boom, probably tail whips and charges him, and Kong gets launched right across. So, yeah, Kong's got to be using his quick agility, speed, technical prowess, and he's like, use tools, and he has to think more creatively if he's going to take on Godzilla like that. You can't go, match him blow for blow. You got to be smart when you fight him. So, yeah, again, that's pretty much how the footage ends. We'll go ahead and read this description right here from Lord of Salem. Using anonymous contracts, various sources, several people I found out the contents of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer from the Russian Cinema Expo. This is something. Spoiler alert, again. So let's go ahead and read their thing. Alexander Skarsgård is in a building similar to an ancient temple of a glacier. The character is like a villain. I guess Skarsgård's a villain in this one. I don't know. I doubt they'd have him be the villain. I mean, he seems like the main lead. Pathetic voiceover monologue about the great battle. I guess it's not very good. King Ghidorah chained among the ruins of a city or mountains. He's very angry. Lightning strikes in the sky. The gloomy look of Kyle Chandler and Bobby Brown is in tears, so some bad stuff's about to happen. Further unfinished CGI, so what they saw may not exactly be what it seemed like to the audience at first glance, but I convey their words as they are. Thunderstorm, open ocean, half-flooded aircraft carrier USS Missouri. Godzilla and Kong are fighting on the aircraft carrier. Again, this is probably like it's crashed along the shoreline, I'd assume, of Skull Island most likely. And they're just fighting in the wreckage of it as it's sinking. There's people on it trying to escape as the two Titans are just clashing and they're caught in the middle of it. Kong hits Godzilla. Godzilla's feeling fine. Kong hits Godzilla and Kong flies off to the other end of the location. And then movie title. Again, this is just something really brief. It's one singular clip. But the footage, like I said, I wonder how King Ghidorah would be potentially chained up like that. But the idea of Godzilla and Kong fighting like inside of like a sunken aircraft carrier like that as it's sinking sounds pretty amazing. And, like, this is what sold me on it right here. Just these two bits right here. The other stuff, yeah, that's cool and all. And, again, we kind of figured Ghidorah would come back or in some capacity. Perhaps the oxygen destroyer alters his DNA. Who knows exactly what's going to happen with that? I know it's Kevin as the only one who survived at that point. You know, Ghidorah's left head. But, yeah, we'll see where that goes from there. But, again, this sounds pretty cool. Godzilla rising from the ocean. Kong rising from the ocean. Kong may have an advantage, perhaps, on land, but in the ocean, it's pretty much a done deal. You can't fight Godzilla in the water. There's just no doing it. You're not really going to have a chance if you're in that bit of water. Now, Kong is a trained, agile fighter, but he's got to bring the fight to land and use the environment to his advantage if he's going to have any chance of stopping Godzilla in this thing. But, man, I can just imagine the two of them just kind of having this stare down before they finally fight, and that, to me, just sounds amazing. Kong just be like, okay, you son of a bitch, oh shit, it's gonna be kind of like that moment in like BVS where Batman goes to punch him and Superman just kind of grabs it Superman tries to punch him after he's sprayed with kryptonite and Batman just kind of just dodges it. He just looks at him and he just like beats the shit out of him. I can imagine something, interesting like that. But yeah, that's in essence the footage right there. Again, take this with a grain of salt, because again, I don't know if the reports they got were accurate, this Lord of Salem user. But Gormaro is a very reliable source. At least that's what I consider to be a very reliable source. So, yeah, I definitely trust them to report on something. Again, like I said, this is just reportedly. They didn't say this is official footage description. So, if this turns out to be true, yeah, I'm all for this. I'm just curious how Ghidorah would play a factor in this. Again, this tells me that a team-up is inevitably going to happen. We'll see. It's all up in the air at this point. We don't know for sure. But, yeah, Ghidorah is going to come back, play a factor. We knew his head was going to play a factor. I don't know if it was going to he's going to mold into Destroya, like a lot of people theorize, because Oxygen Destroyer and Ghidorah, like Destroya, Ghidorah, something like that. That's a lot of people's theories. Or Ghidorah is going to become fully charged up. Godzilla's going to have to try and fight him again, but he can't do it. So Kong has to come in there too. We'll just have to wait and see. But it definitely sounds like they're going to go a lot gloomier and darker with their marketing this time around. Definitely kind of similar to 2014. Because, like, the last film, I love the marketing of it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. But I think with this next one, if you got to, like, market it a bit more serious, dark, and, really kind of more horrifying, I think that'll get people into it more. Just, you got to make it haunting. You got to make the spectacle. You got to really up the spectacle this time around. I mean, King of the Monsters really upped the ante with spectacle, but with Godzilla and Kong, you got to make it like a big horror matchup. Like, you got to make it like, okay, this is an event. This is the two most famous monsters of all time coming together to fight to see who the true alpha is. So, yeah, that's the footage. That's at least the alleged footage that was screened at the Cinema Europe, Cinema Expo in Russia, or whatever it was called. Yeah, it was Russian Cinema Expo. But, yeah, so that's what we got. I don't know when this trailer is going to drop. I'm getting really antsy right now. I know a lot of people are. I've been talking with a lot of people like, when is the trailer going to drop? When's it going to drop? When's it going to drop? Because, with King of the Monsters, we had basically like a year before that movie came out when they dropped that trailer. We were pretty much spoiled. Like, we had that footage, like, early on, and, you know, that first Claire de Lune trailer I still think is absolutely magnificent. You know, I'll still listen to the soundtrack of the movie and the trailer music from that. I mean, that was such a beautiful trailer, but I guess it just didn't connect. I think it was really the second trailer where it lost momentum a bit, because I don't really care as much for the second trailer like I do the first and third trailers of King of the Monsters. I think the second trailer is by far the weakest. But, you know, Godzilla vs. Kong, it really has to deliver on its premise. It's got to make it, you know, dark. It's got to make it gripping, captivating all the way through. I really hope they can pull this off. I mean, this is the toughest one to nail in terms of the MonsterVerse. Like, this is the one you got the most pressure on. You know, King of the Monsters, I think that's why going into, like, I didn't worry so much about spoilers for King of the Monsters, because I'm like, okay, we know Godzilla vs. Kong's coming, so, spoiler, Godzilla's going to survive. But this one, I'm just kind of going into it, I'm like, okay, let's see how this one turns out. I mean, we got this beautiful photo right here of, you know, Godzilla and Kong. It's going to be crazy. It's definitely going to be a crazy movie. So, yep, those are my impressions on the footage. Let me know in the comments section down below what your thoughts on the footage are. Again, this is alleged. This is not officially 100% confirmed. I don't know when this trailer is going to drop, but if they're showing footage at Expos, I assume the trailer will be coming around pretty soon. Again, I've heard really positive responses to the footage that screened, but we shall see. I'm waiting for this trailer. I hope it comes out next week in front of Joker. Then we can really dive into it. But they said the footage, the CGI is unfinished. I guess that means they're going to have to wait a little bit, or maybe they've got a lot of it done. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below to let me know your thoughts on this whole alleged leaked footage thing. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Godzilla vs. Kong. When is that trailer going to get here? I'm just so eagerly anticipating it. Alright, that's all I got to say. Take care now. Bye-bye then. And I shall see you all in the next video. Peace.